Gives me the willies. That's really the best description of it. I have the willies right now. And it's not the willies you get when you're crazy and in college and you drive out 10 miles out into the ocean at night when it's super smooth and there's fish swimming around your boat and you just jump in and, swim out a few hundred yards. Because if you're conscious and analyze the fear, statistically, it's a very low chance that a barracuda or a shark's going to bite you. Let's be conservative, 1 out of 10 million. Look it up. I mean, I think you've got like a 1 out of 15 million last time I checked and change being even bitten by a shark in a year. Look it up yourself. The numbers vary. There's like 4 or 5 shark fatalities a year. My point is, you got the willies. I mean, I remember doing stuff like that, and most of my buddies wouldn't jump off the boat. And they're like, quit showing off. And I'm like, it's crystal clear out here. Look, there's plankton shining in the water. It's magic. Get in. And then one time we had girls with us. They pulled their clothes off and jumped in. They knew it was fun. The point is that those are irrational fears. I don't have the willies, unless there's jellyfish out there. That's a real threat of jumping into black water 10 miles off the coast at midnight. But my instincts, my intellect, everything, when I look at the New World Order, it is desperate sorrow that people don't know how serious it is, how giant, how hardcore, how massive. It doesn't come to steal and rob. It steals and robs to impoverish you, to make you weak, so it can enslave you, use you up, and ultimately get away with killing you. This whole global spectrum world government tentacle system is chains to chain down humanity. An iron curtain of night and of total tyranny is descending upon every nation on earth right now. The globalists have taken over. The New World Order goes into countries and wrecks the infrastructure and never rebuilds it, and brings poverty and mass death. That is its fruits. And if you think the New World Order won't and doesn't plan to do that here, you got nothing coming. They hate America more than any other place in the world, but they at the same time use America to carry out their evil. They destroy those without while destroying the system within, while transferring their new command base to China. We'll be right back. I will give you the huge news of the IRS coup. Hello, I'm Alex Jones. Myself, my family. What are you made of? Do the globalist tricks and the different layers of confusion they project, do you get caught in their false reality, or do you understand the manipulation? Because once you understand it, you laugh at yourself at how obvious it was. I've got all this world news. We have a big guest coming up, several big guests. But I want to just first calmly talk about something I've been talking about for a week. But upon stumbling across a rebroadcast of last Thursday's show on YouTube, I didn't give it the gravitas it needed. I didn't give people the full spectrum breakdown that is so essential. I mean, in and of itself, it's horrible. And another signpost on the road to absolute enslavement and all that word enslavement means. But then there's the media response and how they report on it like it's no big deal. There's that whole story. And then there's how it ties into everything else. And I sat there on the phone with Paul Watson this morning, who's doing a story on it, and who's listening right now to get some of my points to add to his research. And that's what I stood there, basically staring at the wall, thinking about all the hundreds of different points that come up when I think about this. And the historical ramifications. And of course, I'm speaking about the IRS coup over our republic. And that's what it is. The Federal Reserve began its coup d'etat over the financial system and its infiltration and slow takeover, Because if you had a foreign army come in and declare a coup, Americans would resist it. But infiltration by stealth, that's how we were attacked, and that's how we were taken over. And now they're just mopping up free speech, the right to assemble, private property rights, things like that. That's being mopped up right now. And so I was rereading these articles last night and this morning. Here's Forbes from April 7th, a week ago or more. Forget travel if you owe the IRS. Here's another one. Owe the IRS, you're not going anywhere. Fox News. Okay? Then I've got some more articles going over that. And the way this Robert W. Wood just calmly talks about, well, they've had some similar things, you know, where you got to pay your child support or they take your paycheck, or to get a hunting license if you got any problems. No, you can't get a hunting license. It's a privilege. So it's just like, oh, it's just something new. It's no big deal. Not even Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, the worst despotisms, didn't take passports for unpaid taxes. They took them from people as part of a process. They learned that if you just came and arrested people to take them away to a slave labor camp, they'd resist. But if you first took their passport, only arrested their neighbors, came back a month later and said, now go live in this slum, this ghetto, and then a year later come get you and take you away. The process. And the globalists have written psychological warfare manuals that are public on this. They create a process. And so they're just, oh, yeah, you just won't be able to leave the country. Of course, I've read deeper into what they've called for. I've told you this is coming for years. Now it's here. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. This is not the Bible saying it's the Federal Reserve that runs our country and its collection agency, the IRS. You're not going to be able to have a job, go in a national park, go in a federal building. That's why they're now setting up TSA checkpoints outside Social Security buildings and others. And they're saying if your card isn't up to date, you're just homeless. Extrajudicial, no courts, no due process, just like over 2 million people are on no-fly list. Don't know how you got on, don't know how you get off. It's the national security state run by mafia criminals who are involved in every abominable crime you can imagine publicly. People like Corzine saying you're going to give all your money to the foreign banks that run your country through austerity and to Warren Buffett, or you're not going to have a job. And next we're going to come arrest you and put you in a forced labor camp. Stay there. I'm going to break it down how they're going to do it.
We're on the march.
All right, let me break down what capital controls and martial law mean in America and what it signifies to have the fact that the Senate has passed, it's moving quickly through the House, it is expected to pass, and there is no opposition on talk radio or in print that I have seen in a week of research. This legislation has been introduced for months, and I wasn't even aware of it until it passed out of committee in the Senate and now passed the General Senate. I wasn't aware of it. Someone who is a complete news junkie. Just like Obama signed an executive order to seize control of natural gas and try to keep us from using it as an energy source, listing it as some type of, threat and trying to take state regulation power away, like the Texas Railroad Commission has over natural gas. I'd actually talked to some mid-level executives. They said these rumblings were coming 2 years ago. Well, while everybody was diverted with the hooker scandal down in South America with Obama and the Secret Service, he snuck another weekend executive order in on us. Just like the National Defense Authorization Act, the torture, the new wars, all of it. Now, continuing here, the public plan by the big corporations and all their press releases and governments is to standardize all electronics, including inexpensive clock radios, systems in refrigerators, light bulbs, everything, to have tech embedded in it that allows it to be remote controlled by government smart meters. This is all on record. MIT said it was the plan 12, 13 years ago. I first read about it. People are like, yeah, right. Our light bulbs and toasters are going to be watching us. Then you saw Forbes and Reuters and Wired Magazine a month ago say, yes, all new appliances spy on you. But it's not just a smart meter on your house or in the neighborhood wirelessly accessing it. On record. All of the post office vehicles are now going to have these snooper hubs installed. That's Associated Press last year. All of them. That's the plan. And data over power line, the new chips are coming out that you pay for when you buy the refrigerator, the toaster, the microwave oven, the refrigerator, the dishwasher, the computer, the smartphone, the iPad. All of them have back doors, remote access, even when they're turned off under federal regulations, which they call law. Okay? And Petraeus just says, hey, get used to it. The Fourth Amendment isn't seen as it was in the past. He didn't say we're going to ignore it. He just said the Fourth Amendment allows this. Oh, yeah, without a warrant coming into your house. And again, gathering data on everyone. And you're like, well, I have nothing to hide. Do you have something to hide from serial killers? You have something, I mean, why do you lock your doors then if you have nothing to hide? Because there's bad people out there. Government's the #1 killer. Democide. Look it up. You're always taught to be scared of your neighbor. You're always taught to be scared of anybody but government, when government, as our founders stated, is the #1 threat. So here's our top news today. The IRS has stated, the collection agency for the private Federal Reserve that we pay our taxes to, as Ronald Reagan's own commission showed, not 1 cent goes around the country. It's all interest on the debt. The debt to print a dollar, which is really a Federal Reserve note, debt is created, paid to the private banks. We didn't have this till 1913. They hadn't completely phased it in until the 70s. They didn't even really have the income tax enforced till the 50s. United States of America. It says that on this $5 Lincoln greenback, reissued by Kennedy, but at the top it says United States note, not Federal Reserve note. That is the difference. United States note, but look at the money in your wallet. It's a Federal Reserve note. The IRS was set up at the exact same time to fund this scam. And that's why Warren Buffett is out saying raise taxes on the rich, because he has helped himself write the loopholes where he is exempt. Then he uses the fact he's exempt to say raise it on people over $250,000 a year, so that he'll get that money out of the Treasury and banker bailouts